Parma stitch is a combination of chain stitches and buttonhole or blanket stitch. So we're going to do 3 rows of chain stitches right next to each other. So we want the chains to be the same length and we want them to line up with each other. Now if you're working on a curve, you'll have to make your inside chain stitches a little bit shorter and your outside ones a little bit longer to keep them all lining up. We want them all going in the same direction as well. So I'll stitch 1 row of chain stitches, then I'll come back and do another one right next to it. So let me stitch this first one and then I'll come back. Once my first row is done, I'm coming back right next to it, doing another row, trying to keep the same length change and lining them up, the links right next to each other. And that's probably the hardest part, is keeping all your spacing the same. So after I finish this row, then I will come back and put a 3rd row right next to it. I've switched to a tapestry needle and to some new thread. I'm going to bring my needle up between my top 2 rows. And then I'm going to do a buttonhole or blanket stitch, however you want to look at it, under the bottom part of the top row's length and the link and the top part of the 2nd row's link. So buttonhole, I want to put my thread under the needle, pull through, and I'm going to do 3 of those in each pair of links. So I'm going to do another one in that first one and a 3rd. And then I'm going to move on to the next link and do the same thing again. 3 stitches, 3 buttonhole stitches in that one. Just stitching those 2 rows of buttonholes together with the links that are right next to each other. I'm going to run all the way down this, doing 3 buttonhole stitches in each pair of links. And I suppose, depending on how big your buttonhole stitches are, you might want to consider, how big your chain stitches are, you might want to consider more buttonhole stitches. I'm going to stick to the 3 for this. I'm sorry, my lighting is not the greatest. The days are too short this time of year to fit everything in. So all the way down to the other end, repeating the same thing over and over again. When I've done my 3 stitches and my last link on the chain, I'm going to take my thread, my needle down between the top and the 2nd row, just like where I came up on the other end. Now I'm going to rotate my work 180 degrees. I'm going to come up between what is now the top and the middle row, and I'm going to repeat the same process. 3 buttonhole stitches in each length that are attaching the bottom part of the chain from the top row and the top part of the chain for the middle row. And I'll work all the way down to the other end, 3 buttonhole stitches in each pair of links. Until I get to the other end. Once I get to the end, I will again take my needle down between the 2 rows of chain stitch, the top and the middle one, and take it to the back and knot off, and that is my Parma stitch. It looks kind of like a crocheted trim or something.